If you've been in the online world for any length of time, you know that part of the deal to get your expertise out there is to share your knowledge. But when you've worked so hard to build this expertise, the knowledge, the credentials, all of this to share, it can be really hard to give that away for free without getting anything in return. But as I said, in today's world, it's more important than ever. So, what I want to do is share how to give tremendous value to your target audience without giving all of your knowledge away for free. Hi, I'm Joyce Layman, and I help entrepreneurs and coaches create a solid brand foundation so that they can stand out online, sell more services, and make a bigger impact without the overwhelm. And we're going to be flying through pretty quickly today. So if for any reason you want the show notes, then put hashtag show notes in the comment below. The other thing too is I am going live on multiple channels. As always, I always go back just to make sure that I answer any questions that you might have. And if you've not given Restream your permissions, please do so I can actually see who's commenting during this process. So when I'm talking about giving away your knowledge for free, I want to clarify. This is not getting the phone call or getting the email that somebody says, I want to pick your brain. Because what they mean by that is they want free coaching. That is not what I'm covering in today's live. Because if somebody wants free coaching, that's when you need to turn around. I only fell for that once, but that's when you need to turn around and let them know that it sounds like what they want is a coaching session instead, and that you actually charge for that. Now, I know if you are brand new to business, sometimes that is difficult to do, or it might feel awkward or uncomfortable, but don't fall prey to the pick your brain. This is why when you've got your website, you've got set up, you've got some great freebies to give, and you can simply answer some questions, whether it be in a DM. There's lots of ways that you can direct people to free content. So that is part of what's going on today. All right. And to make sure that I stay on track, of course, I have my notes because otherwise, on occasion, I do have squirrel brain. All right. So think about this, because if you get any amount of emails, you know that you're going to open up email, there's going to be spam messages, or maybe like today I went to get the mail and of course there were flyers in there. These are people, I don't know who they are. I haven't subscribed to their email list. They probably found my information because I've got my name, I've got my phone number, and I've got my email, whether it be on my website, it's out on social media profiles. If you've gotten that, then you know that's spam, because these people have not earned the right, when that happens, to be able to market to you. They're just using what I call that pray, or that spray and pray approach, where they're literally just going to send out as much information and hope that somebody responds. So that's also very different than giving away your knowledge or giving away value. You want to make sure you're giving it away to people who are actually interested in it. So here's the thing is, people are more likely to begin following you if you prove your expertise. And this is by, it could be content like going live, which I do on a regular basis. So it helps to increase your credibility when somebody doesn't know anything about you. And I have talked before, it also depends on the stage of awareness that somebody's at. So if somebody is completely unaware that they have a problem and that they need anything solved, it's like unaware. This is one of the reasons why having a great content strategy and offering freebies, you might make them get to the point where suddenly they go, oh, I have a problem that I might need to be solved. Then they become what's called product or service aware, where they recognize that there is something out there that can help. And then when it is solution that you can actually help them, that gets back to, this is why you want to continue to give value away. You just don't want to have to give all of your knowledge away. So credible source of information, loyal following. You will definitely build up a following faster if you're willing to share nuggets of information. I know this is a tough thing to do, especially if you're brand new, because you're thinking, I don't want to give everything away, because what are they going to buy? You can go to YouTube all day long and find videos on how to do different things. But implementation is the number one area that people have a problem with. So this is why your secret sauce, so to speak, may be different than somebody else's. And so if you're willing to give them content, give value, then you're going to start to build relationships. That's the whole goal. And in today's world, the social selling, and to clearly define social selling, to me, that's relationship-based marketing and relationship-based sales. It isn't the spammy stuff. It's not sending out flyers. That's not what we're talking about here. So this can help you build your business. It is a very profitable marketing strategy when you do it correctly. So also, your traditional sales methods, they don't work. I was having this conversation with my significant other, and when he first got started as a wealth advisor, then they expected him to cold call. They wanted him to literally go knock on doors. And I can't tell you how many people, while it may not be door knocking, they think that picking up the phone and calling somebody, just like you're sending a postcard or you're DMing somebody that has no clue who you are and you're trying to pitch them. If you're on LinkedIn, and I get messages every single day, people I don't know, and they're immediately trying to pitch me their services. So, don't do that. So also, as we're going through this, if you hear a nugget, then post #nugget in the comments below. All right. So think about when I mentioned implementation. So if you watch DIY networks, could be, you've got Chef Gordon Ramsay, you've got Jamie Oliver, you've got all these online chefs, or it could be the DIY channel. And you're watching these people, they are giving you their recipes, they are cooking this meal in front of you, and then you go try to duplicate it, but you don't get the same results. So that's the thing. As I said, somebody can easily go Google and get information on the web. But depending on what your secret sauce is, the level of accountability and support, that's huge. Then that's what makes the difference. So just because you're sharing knowledge doesn't mean that they're going to get, I should say 95% of the people, they're going to hear something. And a lot of times they get busy. And sometimes, in fact, I did a visibility boost masterclass last week. I had a ton of people sign up. I had my key people who actually showed up. It's the difference of the people that say they want to do something and the people who actually take action. So that's why as you're building your following and you're going through and you're giving content away, then you're going to start to weed out. You're going to have raving fans. It's also another benefit of giving away value, giving away knowledge, is people are going to end up, it's how my Facebook group has grown. Somebody says, oh my gosh, this is great information. You need to join this Facebook group because, or you need to come to this workshop because. So think about that as you're putting together your content strategy and your cross-platform strategy. So implementation is huge. So think about a course or a program that you went ahead and tried to do, or the first time I was walking a client through Tech Today, which she has a free workshop that she's doing in April, and MailChimp technology has terrified the heck out of her. And so part of the process of the program she's with, I actually logged into her MailChimp right there because she was frustrated with the support she was getting through MailChimp. And I showed her how to tag contacts, go through and segment the list, and literally handheld her through the process. So implementation is key in all of this. So don't be afraid to give your knowledge for free. Now, when you're creating content, here are some things. And as I said, if you want the show notes, because when we get done, I'm going to be sending out the show notes to anybody that comments that they want the show notes. I'm going to go over here. Yay, great to hear that you're getting nuggets. So when you're creating content, you want to provide value. So here are some tips. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. So make sure that your content is helpful and relevant to your audience. This is why when you know who your target audience is, then you're creating content. This is what we went through in the visibility boost. You're creating content around that ideal persona versus trying to create content that you hope somebody's going to listen to. So make sure your content is helpful and relevant to your target audience. So very important. Keep your content focused on providing solutions to problems. You want to give them a lot of the why. You can give them how-to. How-to content's great. You're going to get it here. But also, and absolutely, Sharon, I will get you the show notes. Keep your content focused on providing solutions. Case studies are a great example of how to illustrate points. So As an example, I mentioned my client who I was on the call with today, literally walking her through MailChimp. Technology has been it's terrified her. It still frustrates her. But when I look at where she was and where she's at now, so think of some of the clients you have. This is where they started before they began working with you. This is where they're at now. You can share case studies or examples on social media, which is a great thing because then people see how you helped other people. Stay up to date, ahead of the latest trends. Social media marketing world just happened. As you know, social media changes all the freaking time. And so part of it is I have my gurus that I go to because there's no way I can keep up on all this, but I go to very specific people I admire, respect, and I know they're the guru in their space. So then I can help translate that to free content. And then I give a more insight and the actual hand holding details to my paid clients. See, there's always a different level. So when you think about trends, be sure and write down trends in your industry. There's a different level of information that you're going to have. All right. Head. You got to love live audiences, right? So head off objections in your content before people ask about them. There's a very specific process that I take my clients through to this, but here's an easy way to think about it. So if you have frequently asked questions, and I always suggest clients, you have these on your website, if you have a landing page or a sales page, that you put your frequently asked questions, because these are the ones that folks are constantly raising their hand and they're going, I need help with what about this? How do you deliver your program, or what is it specifically? If you have that frequently asked questions and that gets raised, then you can direct people there. It's also a great call to action. Then a lead magnet. So if you have a lead magnet, fabulous. I will tell you, I know I do need to do a lead magnet training. A lead magnet is not something that is Googleable. This is something you put your secret sauce into that you actually begin to build and nurture a relationship. If I can easily go out to YouTube and Google it, that's not a lead magnet. I have one that I give people over 30 different content ideas. I literally take them through the questioning process to create the lead magnet, and I give them the Canva template. So there are lead magnets that can be videos, quick videos that you do. In fact, my yoga instructor, that's what she does. Quizzes are another great lead magnet. So this is where you can actually give value, but you're not giving so much. And a lot of times, especially with a quiz, you're asking questions, which is fabulous because then it's making people think. All right. Then make sure your offer, this is a big one. Make sure that your lowest offer is the natural next step. So as you're sharing your information, as you're sharing value out to the world, what you don't want to do is say, hey, here's some content, here's a lead magnet, and suddenly you're trying to sell somebody your signature program. The odds that somebody is going to say yes, depending on where they're at in their buying process, completely unaware, problem aware, solution, product aware solution. It's like you are aware, depending on where they're at, the odds that somebody's going to go, oh, I'm going to take a lead magnet, I'm going to invest thousands of dollars with you, typically not going to happen. They need to have these experiences with you and understand that you are that person that can help them solve that problem. So as you're mapping out your offer strategy, then look and say, okay, this lead magnet is going to lead them. As an example, I have a lead magnet. I have my free workshops that I do, my visibility boost. I done one last year, the one I just did, completely different. And then I have my lower priced program, and then I have my signature program. So think about your funnel, so to speak, or that transition of they start free content. What's that next level thing that people want to stay engaged? So now, if you follow these tips, and if you organize this, part of this is, say, for example, with the lead magnet, you do want to get people's email information. You can also do this on social media, but when you have multiple touch points, then it helps you to build that relationship. And also, as you know, it happened several months ago. Instagram and Facebook shut down one day. If your entire business is on social media and you're not actually nurturing them over here in emails and other ways, then you risk losing your business. So this is why having a multi-touch, multi-channel nurturing strategy is key. So, all right, outbound versus inbound. This can be a little bit confusing. So when you're thinking about flow of traffic, typically Outbound marketing, that's the cold outreach. Those are cold calls. Those are door knocking. I hope nobody has to do that anymore. But that's typically what that outbound reach is. It's cold outreach. So it can also be, if you're online, it's these ads that pop up. Especially, I was talking to my significant other the other night, and you're like, we were just having a conversation and now I'm getting an ad for that. It's like, are you listening to me on social? It's a little freaky. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean the cold call or the door knocking. It can just be an ad that pops up. So, or this is also, as I mentioned before, especially on LinkedIn, it happens all the time. I keep getting cold messages that somebody's saying, hey, I saw you do this. My favorite. Hey, I can help you publish a book. If they actually looked at my LinkedIn profile, they would see that I've already authored 2 books, one in 2014, one in 2015. So cold outreach in that way does not work, but that is outbound marketing. Here's where it gets confusing. Inbound marketing, you would think it's people, it's coming in. It's actually, these are email list, it's lead magnet. So inbound marketing, so think content marketing. So whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, could be TikTok, you could be doing Instagram Reels. By the way, Pinterest has blown up for me, and it is responsible in a 67% increase to my website traffic. Pinterest, who knew that with the changes coming with Google and all the SEO, everything that's happening, Pinterest is one of those. It's been amazing. I now have over 5,800 monthly views to my Pinterest channel, which who knew? But it's responsible for driving traffic to my website. So never knock Pinterest. I'm just telling you, that's why I put it in there. So when you think opt-in email marketing, so this is permission-based marketing. This is all inbound, where you say, if you join my list, I'm going to give you this, and this thing of value had better be great, because you've been on people's lists before and you've opted into something, and then you get this lead magnet and it tells you to do 3 things and that's it. And you're like, why did I opt in? If you're going to be giving something away for free, it needs to have value with it. So as I mentioned, search engine optimization, SEO, that's why I love Pinterest, because it's SEO based. Live video, hands down, is your best way to reach more people. And short form content, according to social media marketing world, that short form content, this is 15 seconds, is huge, because that's what people are responding to. That's why TikTok has taken off. Instagram Reels, you can do 15-second, 30-second, 60-second. YouTube Shorts are 15-second. LinkedIn is also creating their LinkedIn super short videos. So they know that they have to keep up with everything else. So this is all outbound marketing. And actually, as I mentioned, like a web-based training, I did my Visibility Boost workshop. I've done my masterclass series in the past. So these are all examples of outbound marketing. So think about, as I said, if you want show notes, post show notes, but think of all the ways that you have touch points with your audience that you can add value back to them. So another thing, and this is what a lot of people miss, is if you go outbound, you're developing relationships. Say, for example, you're in a Facebook group. I've got a Facebook group. If you're actually engaging on other people's content, whether it be in a group, you go to somebody else's business page, algorithms want to see that you're engaging. So what I find is interesting is, on occasion, people put a post up in the page in my group and they think they're going to get a lot of traction, and they've done nothing to engage. Algorithms, you have to get in and engage. So that is a big piece when you're talking about outbound. Make sure that you are doing that. So inbound marketing is always more effective than outbound marketing, just for the fact that it's multiple touches and you're actually developing relationships. So it goes back to, when somebody has a taste of experiencing value, they're more likely to stay engaged in your ecosystem. So even though paid offers are a very important part of your business, it is crucial when you think about the bottom of your funnel. This is where individuals that may not be aware that they have a problem at all, they may never heard of you before. When you think bottom of the funnel, this is where free content, what you're doing, is so important before you expect them to make a buying decision. Also, shifting from a short-term vision, that's I'm going to put a post out and I hope to heck that somebody buys this. So shifting from that to a longer term vision of you're willing to put in the work because you know when you create a long-term strategy that that's what's going to pay off. All too often, I see clients get frustrated, especially newbies in business. They think they're going to post content and they're going to immediately get results out of it. Well, the odds that you're going to go viral are slim to none. I have seen it happen. But when you think about, is it your target audience? Is it the right kind of content? Have you actually done the research to make sure that you're reaching out to the right people? These are also important. So think about your long-term strategy. And this is where you're going to also go back to what are the stages, what are the different offers that you have, and how do you lead people through their buying process? I've thrown this out before. 3% of the people in your ecosystem, these are 3% of people who are actually qualified leads, not just 3% of people who follow you, are ready, willing, and able at any time to invest in your services. But you have to make sure that you're putting out the right content and you're nurturing through the process. And ultimately, you want to be having conversations with them. So now what we want to do is I'm going to give you a recap. So first off, benefits of sharing value without giving your knowledge away for free. So benefit number one, you're going to build trust, you're going to build credibility, and potentially get referrals. Number two, adding value is a very profitable marketing strategy when you think about it long term. Number three, you can give away a ton of value without giving the knowledge away that you would have for your paid offers. As I said, when I work with my clients that I post content on pages, I will actually post video tutorials. I'll do lives like this, but the level of information and support that people get in my paid group are a very different thing. So think about that when you map your offer out, then physically write down and say, what's the deeper dive with the content, the paid content versus the free content? And then what's the level of support with the paid versus you're just putting free content out here? And then also, when you create the strategy, then it's a true inbound strategy. So that's why you have to make sure that you're aware of target audience, your offer, the content pillars that you're going to be focusing on, how you're going to be delivering it, what platforms, how often. There's so much that goes into this. So, and here's another super cool thing that I had not mentioned is when you give away free content, this is also a great way to validate offers. So especially if you're brand new in business, if you want to validate an offer, then sharing that value, sharing that free content is a great way to do that. So as I said, I'm going to go back and anybody that posted show notes, I will go ahead and reach out on that social media channel and make sure you have that. I also always love to know if by chance, if you are watching live or replay, I am using Restream and I love how this platform is set up. So I know a lot of folks, I go live at 1:11. It's an odd time. The whole goal is hopefully you'll remember that a little bit more so. But I go live at that time with the goal of catching some people, but I also get a lot of DMs back saying that you can't be on live, but you are catching the replay. So let me know if live or replay. And I mentioned the lead magnet cheat sheet. It's a cheat sheet quick start guide because it's got your Canva template in it too. If by any chance, gotta love live video. By any chance you want that, then you can also put lead magnet guide in the comments. So with that, I look forward to seeing what you come up with for your great piece of value, that wonderful freebie that you're going to do. Go ahead and post that in the comments below when you're done or shoot me a DM with it. I would love to see that. And I also can't wait to see you next week for the live. So thank you for being here.